self-proclaimed prophets and prophetesses. Be leery of those with titles. I'm not saying that you don't have to test the spirit, do that. But what I am saying is I would be very careful of those who call themselves prophets. Because if you look in the Bible, there is never a time where somebody called themselves a prophet. If they were here today, what this means is they would not be putting in their bio or on shirts that they are a prophet or a prophetess. They never announced that they were those things. They just simply went forth and spoke the word of God. The people tested the spirit, and then they were able to tell because of that that this was a person that was sent from God, and by the fact of whether the words that they shared came true. Y'all, many of the people who were prophets in the Bible did not choose to be a prophet, and many of them, it probably wasn't even in their radar to even think about or even want the role, because it's not some glamorous thing like we often portray it to be in our world today. This is about more than flyers and conferences. This is about more than a YouTube channel and money, y'all. This is a person that God calls to speak on behalf of him, and they are often held to a much higher standard, and they have much greater accountability before God, and he is expecting them to say exactly what he desires for them to say, not to add any of their flesh in there, though they are imperfect, and not to just do things for the sake of money. These people had heavy burdens to bear. They often endured things that your average believer would have never been able to handle. And this is why it's so important that we aren't jumping into a calling that God has not called us to, because where he has not called you, there is no grace for it.